Hi, family. It's me, Danielle. Um, so I'm here in Southern California in Diamond Bar. I'm at the Holiday Inn of Diamond Bar. So I've been here for a couple of days trying to help mom move, as you guys know. Today is the day, though, that mom and I went to IKEA. So this is what I want to tell you about. I was supposed to go down to her place and continue to help her pack and clean and organize, move. But she was really tired, and she said she'd rather go to IKEA and get a bed. Back up, those of you who don't know. She was very determined to not move with that bed that she has. So determined that she was willing to just sleep on the floor until she can afford a new bed, because I told her she can't afford a new bed, at least not right now. You wanted to wait for at least a month of her being in there to see what her new financial situation was like, and then we'll know how much money she has to spend on a bed, because that's really how you're supposed to do these things. But she was like, fine, but I'm not moving that bed. I don't like it. She showed me how gross it was, and it really is pretty gross. It really is busted. So Tim and I talked about it, and the next day I told her that because you feel so strongly, we will buy the bed and you will pay us back. So we just tacked it on to her loan, which, by the way, she'll be done paying us back in 2027. So I know some of you were concerned about that. So she's pretty close. She's done a really good job paying us back and paying back all of her loans. Okay, back. So she knew that was going to happen this week. And so she asked if we can just do that today because she was too tired. And I was like, okay, let's do that. So we left at like 11:20, and I didn't walk through my door until 5:30. So it was a day. It was a day. So we went right to IKEA. There's like one in Covina, and it wasn't that far. And I do want to say that so Mom and I were together for like 4 hours, and it was good. It was good. We had a good time. It was a good day. It was positive. We had laughs. We had adventure. We had, so it was good. It was a really good day. It's just long. So we get to IKEA and, park the car, and I try to park really close to the elevators and the entrance and everything, because I know Mom only has so many steps in her in a day. And so we get in and we look, at their layout, like where all the beds and the bedding. So we were like, okay, we need to go to this section here. And of course, everybody knows there's only one way. It's a maze. There's only one way through IKEA. So that's where we go, and we finally reach the bed section. Yay! And so she looks at all the pretty beds, and Mom, she doesn't want anything fancy, but I'm so glad she didn't want like the super cheap. I mean, yes, we're buying it, but I didn't, but we were like, oh, she doesn't have to sleep on like the cheapest bed. I mean, she's not getting the most fanciest IKEA bed, but she doesn't need the cheapest bed. So she saw one that she liked, and was what I was willing to pay for. So it was great, and it had color she liked. So it was the size she liked. So perfect, we got it. And I took a picture of it, and so now bedding. She has blankets. She's like, oh, I've got my wool blanket. And I said, what do you want, like a comforter or a duvet? And she looked around and she saw like this patterned duvet cover because it was on display. She's like, oh, that one, I like that one. So she said, I don't know why, but I'm drawn to it. And I said, well then, okay. And I looked at the price. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So I picked it up, and it was a floral print, but it was like in browns and black and cream. And it's actually, I mean, you're hearing this and it doesn't sound very appetizing, but it's actually it's a very attractive print. And I told her, I was like, I would never have picked this out for you. She's like, you wouldn't have? And I said, no, I mean, it's a floral, but I would have thought you would like something brighter. And she was like, I don't know what it is, but I really like it. I'm like, great, we'll get it for you. And then she needs a new fitted sheet. So this was the first misadventure. So where are the fitted sheets? They had some flat sheets for like a queen size, and then they had like a queen size fitted sheet, nothing for a full size bed, just nothing. So we're just, where is it? Where is it? And then she's like, well, you know, you could look on your phone. And I said, well, on my phone? She's like, yeah, I bet you could, because they had ads everywhere for the IKEA app. She's like, just do it on your phone. I'm like, all right, fine. So I said, Mom, why don't you have a seat on one of these beds while I download the IKEA app? So she's relaxing, hanging out on the bed, and I'm trying, you know, do all the steps to download the IKEA app, which, I don't know. Was it helpful? I don't know. I became an IKEA member. That was, I guess, a positive for the IKEA app. Anyway, so, and I guess it gave me a place to store like the items that I wanted. So I went back and I put in the bed frame that we liked, and I put in like the kind of fitted sheet that we were looking for. And so we're like, great, let's get mattresses. So so we're walking, and I think I heard her say something about mattresses, but I didn't really, I don't know if I wasn't paying attention or I was focused on something. So we kept going through the maze, and then we get to, I think I forgot where we got somewhere. And no. We're still looking for the fitted sheet. Sorry. We're still looking for the fitted sheet. And because we're in the bed, right? You would think, well, this is the beds. They have like those packets of like the comforters and the sheets, and they have like comforter covers. They've got the bed frames. Obviously, they'd have everything here in the bedding section. So I asked the guy in the yellow shirt, where do we find the fitted sheet? He's like, oh, that's downstairs in the warehouse. Like, okay. I said, and the mattress? He's like, oh, the mattresses are downstairs too. And so I take it to mean that that's where the mattresses are also on display. And it turns out I was wrong. So we try to find our way downstairs. We get to the elevator. Of course, we use the bathroom. Get to the elevator. We go downstairs. We find the fitted sheet. Yay, the color that she wanted. And, everything. And then, looking around, I'm like, hey, well, here's the bedding area. Where are the mattresses? Oh, and the comforters, because she needed a new comforter. So got a comforter, great. And then there's a woman, yellow shirt. So I asked the woman, hey, where are the mattresses we needed? We'd like to get a new mattress. We need to try the mattresses. And she's like, oh, well, that's back upstairs. Next to the bed. My mom was like, I told you. And I said, I'm sorry that I didn't hear you. I'm so sorry. And I was like, okay, well, where's the elevator? Because it's, it's IKEA. And so she says, okay, you see that exit sign? You're going to turn left, and then you're going to turn right. And we're like, okay. So we turn left and right, and it all looks the same, except not. And so, and before, she's like, oh, by the way, because she sees my mom with her little cane, and I had noticed that when mom stands still sometimes, she's not standing still. She's like this. So she sees my mom, and she's like, we have wheelchairs available at customer service. So next time you come for your mother, you can get a wheelchair. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Thank you. I was like, geez, lady, I didn't know you had wheelchairs. Otherwise, yeah, I would have gotten a wheelchair for my mom because, So anyway, we got all this stuff. So we get back, I drag my mom, and we get to the elevator, and we get, and then waiting for the elevator, my mom's like, I'm thirsty. And they have a vending machine. So we get, a water and a soda. And so we're like, okay, great. So we get our drinks. She gets a water, I get a soda, and we go upstairs. And we're like, okay, just this time they have a few shortcuts. We take a shortcut through the kids section, whatever. We get to the beds real fast. There's the mattresses, just like my mom said. So we get there, and she's looking at the mattresses, and she's just like touching them all. I'm like, Mom, you gotta lie down. Go ahead, lay down. They've got like the dark gray, like towel-y blankets, whatever, across them. I said, that's for your shoes, just lay down. So she lies down. She's so cute. She's lying down and she's like, this one feels pretty good. And then, but and that was firm. And I was like, personally, that's what I would take. And if I was to buy mom a mattress, that's what I would have gotten her. But that's not what she wanted. So the medium firm, she's like, oh yeah, this is the one I like. So she lies down in the medium firm, and so then we look at a couple more mattresses, but the medium firm is the one that she wants. So we're like, great. So we take a picture. I put in my app. This is the mattress that we want. And then, she's tired again. So we get to the elevator, and the elevator is right, because we're on the second floor, next to the restaurant. And I say, Mom, do you want to sit down? She's like, no, I'm all right. I'm like, are you sure you don't want to sit down? Do you want a snack? She's like, well, I said, it's like after 1. It's like 1:30. And she's like, oh, it is? And then in front of the restaurant, they had, like digital pictures of some of their food. And she was like, ooh, I like those chicken nuggets. Now, because she can't see very well, she doesn't see that these are plant-based nuggets. They're not chicken nuggets. She's like, ooh, I like those chicken nuggets. And I was like, oh, I'll get you some nuggets, Mom. You want some nuggets? And then, yeah, I said, we'll just take a break. We'll take a break. We'll eat some lunch. We'll rest. And then we'll, find them, we'll go get the mattress and the bed and everything, because now we know it's all going to be downstairs. And she was like, that sounds good. I said, great. So I had to talk her into like sit down and take a break and eat a little something. So, I go to now I have never eaten in IKEA. I've never eaten in IKEA. And my mom, of course, has never eaten in IKEA either. So, so I get her the plant-based nuggets, chicken nuggets, faux chicken, and a side of peas. And I get a salad and some salmon. There's lox and hard-boiled eggs. So it was really nice. And, I bring our food to the table, and we're sitting and chatting, and she's eating, and I'm eating, and then she's almost done with her nuggets. She's like 1.5 nuggets left. And I was like, how are your nuggets, Mom? She's like, these are really good. These are really good nuggets. And I was like, oh, because that's not chicken. It's like vegan chicken nuggets. And she was like, what? I said, but that's good, right? She's like, yeah, these are really good. I said, I know, they have come a long way with fake meat. She was like, yeah, they have. So we were talking about fake meat, and we just chatted and hung out. And so after that, our lunching and chatting and talking about family and everything, she was refreshed. She definitely was refreshed. And so we get up and we leave and take the elevator downstairs for the final stretch. Trying to find everything. So you go downstairs. Again, I don't go to IKEA that often, so I don't know how it works. But I find a kiosk, computer screen, and I find, boop, 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 put in the things, the mattress and the bed frame. And I'm like, okay, the mattress is in, row 15, bay, whatever. And the bed frame is row 15 and 16. And, bay, whatever. I'm like, oh, great. It's like the same aisle. That's perfect. And so I said, well, let's just see what it looks like. Do I need like the giant? I probably need the giant, the giant trolley, but let's just go check it out. So Mom and I, with our cart, go over there and like, oh, there it is. And there that is. And so there's the mattress. And then I see like, okay, here's bed part number 1, but it's just the slats that go under the bed, that the mattress lays on. I'm like, all right. And there's bed part number 2, but that's just the support beam that runs in the middle on the bottom. And I'm like, okay. And then I check, because I took a picture of the screen. I'm like, okay, so for this bed, it only has 2 parts listed that's here on the floor, and it's just these 2 parts. So I'm like, where's the frame? Like the frame. The headboard and the side and like feet, everything. Where's the frame? So I'm looking around, I'm like, I don't see, like there was no note that said like, oh, the rest of the frame is here. So I'm looking this whole aisle, and I see like the same bed, but in a different color, like in the boxes. But that's not, and Mom's like, I don't care, I'll just take whatever. I'm like, no, you want the dark color. So that's what we're gonna get. She's like, she's like, oh, I said, no, like this, I said, it's fine. They have it here somewhere. So I said, why don't you stay here with the cart? I'm going to go get the big trolley because we're going to need the trolley. I'm going to get the trolley. You stay here with the cart and, you know, I'll be back with the trolley. So I go get the trolley and there's like an information desk by the trolley. So I stop there and I say, yeah, there's this bed. Where is it? They're like, oh, the frame. I say, yes, the frame. He's like, oh, the frame, you have to pick it up. You have to pay for it first, go to customer service, and then they'll give you, you know, they'll bring it out. I was like, okay, great. So he gives me a printout. And it's like, here, this paper, pay for it, and then they'll, you know, show you what to do. I'm like, great. So I get the trolley, take the trolley back to row, like, right, 15, 16. No, Mom. No, Mom. I'm like, Mom. And I hear, yeah. This is, again, it's IKEA. This is huge space. Mom. Mom. Like, I'm a 56-year-old woman who lost her mother. I'm like, oh my God, this is the beginning of the end. She is wandering around on IKEA. She's going to be lost in here forever. This is my, of course, my imagination taking off in overdrive. She's going to be living on Swedish meatballs because she's lost in IKEA. This is where she's not going to have her apartment. She's going to be living here, like sleeping on the displays, eating like Swiss chocolate and cookies. And like I said, mashed potatoes. That's going to be her life because she's lost and I can't find her. So, you know, finally I pull out my phone and I call her. She's like, hi. I'm like, yeah, Mom, where are you? She's like, I'm right here. Okay. Where's that? She's like, right here, I'm sitting down. So I turn around like, oh, there you are. I see you. Okay, thanks, Mom. I see you. She's like, you do? Yeah, yeah, I see you. I'll be right there. So, oh my gosh. So I see her sitting down and she had her back to me. She was like sitting, I mean, I'm not mad at her. I mean, she needed to sit down. So she took care of herself and she took the cart with her, you know, and she was sitting down in a chair. So that was great. I'm glad she took care of herself. I was just, like I said, just for a minute, I was like, oh my God, no one's going to forgive me because I lost our mom. But yeah, she was fine. So I told her, you know, like, okay, we just have to, I said, we'll pay for, then we have to pick it up and blah, blah, blah. And I said, she's like, are you going to, then what? I said, well, I'm going to have somebody load it into the car. Are you sure? I said, yeah, that's their job here is, yeah. So totally somebody's going to help me. So we, you know, get in line. Oh, before I finish, I'm sorry, I forgot. So when we were upstairs the first time and then we had to go back downstairs, we got lost because that woman's like, oh, just turn left and then turn right. Yeah, I turned left and turned right. I didn't see anything. So we kept going and Mom was like, I think we're supposed to turn right. I said, we did turn right. And then we kept going and then we had to turn left again. So I don't know. So we ended up going in a big circle. And then we found that woman again. The woman who admonished me for not having my mother in a wheelchair. We found her again. And she was just like, I'll walk you to the elevator. So she's leading us through IKEA. She leads us to the, she's like, it's right there. I'm like, thank you, ma'am. I think she was about my age. You know, so why are you so rude? Well, you know, she does this all the, I bet people get lost in there all the time, every day. And after a while, it probably gets old. Anyway, I would probably be the same way. So yeah, so she walks us to the elevator and then we go downstairs and then I lost Mom. So there. Anyway, so yeah, it was fine. So we get paid for it and then we go to the customer service place. And then we have to sit and wait. And then Mom was like, what's going on? I said, well, we have to wait. Are we in line? I'm like, yeah, we're in line. Are you sure? And because again, she can't see because of her, one, I think she needs a new, she says she thinks she needs a new prescription. And two, of course, her glaucoma, so she can't really see too well. I'm like, yeah, so there's a screen right there and our number's on the screen. So it shows that we're in line and they were like 3 or 4 people ahead of us. So, you know, we just have to sit here and wait. Yeah, we'll be fine. Then we just chatted some more about, you know, family and everybody. And then they did call us and we got the bed frame came out, and I asked for help. And so this young person came out and walked with us, and another young person joined them, which is great because it turns out that was really heavy. So we got, they loaded everything into the car, which is great. Then by this time it's like 4 o'clock. So we had been in that IKEA for 4 hours. So Mom was really tired. So we get home, but she was in a good mood. She was saying like, wow, what a beautiful day. It was so great, but now the sun is out, and she was just talking about the dogs and just talking about things. And then we were singing along with the songs on my my playlist. We were just singing, and then we get to her house, and then she's just like, she's just saying how fun it was to be, at just being out and shopping was so fun for her. And then she's like, I'm so tired. I'm like, yeah, it is pretty tiring. She says, she said, can we just not do anything tomorrow? And it's like, how about we meet later, like noon, and then how about we just go through papers? Because those of you who don't know, there is a big stack. We found like a couple boxes of papers and paperwork. So we just didn't go through them yet. So I told her, why don't we just do that tomorrow? We'll just quickly look through those papers, see what's what. And also we can go to the bank, because something that we've been meaning to do is to get my name on, add my name to her bank account, which we couldn't do until she had a real, form of ID. Now she does. So we can go to the bank, get my name put on, and so she was like, oh yeah, that sounds good. So that's it. Those are the two big things we'll do tomorrow. And then she left. So that's end scene 1. Scene 2 is now, it's it's after 4, and I have her bed in the back of the van. And for a moment, I was like, I'm also tired. For a moment, I'm like so tempted just to come back to my hotel room, go to the pool, and relax. But then I tell myself, no. It's going to be so much better if I just go to her apartment, just unload everything. It's going to be great. So I go to her apartment, and those of you who know, they have like a hotel dolly that you can borrow. Oh, and I had the keys, so I got in, I got the dolly, and whatever I could lift myself, I put in there, took it up to her room, wrangled everything in, unloaded it, came back out, got like a bag that had her little things, like her, the bedding. So got that in there. Then all that's left is the bed frame, which, I was like, oh, how heavy is it? Ugh, okay, so I can barely lift up an end. I can't even really lift up an end. So I'm like, okay, this is heavy, and it's too long. At least one of the boxes is too long. It's not going to fit on this dolly. So, so I go downstairs to the front desk, and somebody comes to help me. They are so nice down there. So I'm really excited for Mom to move in. Like everybody there is so nice. So a woman comes up who works at the desk and asks me if I need any help. And I say, yes, I'm moving my mom, and I have her new bed in the back of my van. Can somebody please help me? She's like, oh, okay. And she's like, the maintenance people who would help have all left. Like they all leave at 4:30. So it's like 4:45. It's like, okay, so I make plans to come back in the morning. So tomorrow morning, I need to get there between 9 and 10, and just be flexible. Hopefully, just wait around until they have time to come and help. Basically, they're going to do it. They're going to carry the really heavy boxes, because the frame's in 2 boxes. So basically, the bed was in 4 parts and 2 places. Complicated IKEA, but I understand, because if I had just gotten those 2 boxes, I would have thought I had all the pieces to the bed and not realized that it's actually 4 pieces. So I guess that makes sense. Anyway, so tomorrow, hopefully 2 maintenance people will help me move the bed into her room, and then hopefully maybe charming Brad again with his wonderful skills will put the bed together, and then the bed can be made. You guys will see everything. So that's that. That's today's adventure. And then yeah, then I finally walked home, or walked into the room again like about 5:30, and now it's almost 6, and I need to rest up for tomorrow because I gotta get up like at a reasonable time, especially if I want to exercise in the morning, because that is nice. One thing I'll say about that. About that apartment place, that home, that assisted living, seeing all those people in walkers, it's really motivating me to make sure I exercise more. I mean, I need to exercise more, and I am taking the stairs whenever I can. Like when I'm in that village, like today, I was taking the stairs as much as I could because I'm like, man, as long as I can take stairs, I should take the stairs, because the day's going to come when I can't take the stairs, and I want that day to be as far into the future as it can. And like mom, when we were at the IKEA, my mom had like gotten up after we had our lunch, and she was like trying to push the chair into the under the table. She was like, "Ugh, the chair is so heavy." I'm like, "Let me help you, mom." You know, I just did it. So I'm like, oh my god, I gotta keep exercising, because I am losing muscle mass as I speak. So I just got to keep strength training, because I got to keep it as long as I can. Anyway, so thanks for listening, and just thoughts and prayers. If you can come down to help mom, that's great. Or even sending encouraging texts or phone messages. I think or texts are probably better for mom, to encourage her on this new chapter. I think that's all going to be good. All right. Love you all. Bye.